excellent guests this Friday morning. The Athletics football correspondent David Ornstein and broadcaster Nabeed Haroon. Good morning to both of you. We're going to start with Manchester United. They're closing in on the appointment of Erik ten Hag, the Ajax head coach, as their new manager. Now, a reminder, we want you at home to get involved. As Joe was saying, it's the first time we've done it, so it's hashtag early kickoff. Get involved right now for the next half an hour. OK, David, right, we'll start with you. We know that this deal is close, but in terms of what your sources are telling you, what's the time frame of Ten Hag's move?
Yeah, morning, Tom, Joe Nabeed. I think it's been very clear from my reporting this year that United have been going through a pretty thorough process. January, it was close to getting started. February, it did get started. March, they started speaking to the various candidates. They had their shortlist drawn up, and they wanted to be clear in their direction of travel by the end of March in an ideal world. And I think that has pretty much been the case, that they have honed in, it seems, on Erik ten Hag and Mauricio Pochettino, but it appears that Ten Hag is the preferred candidate. And the thing is, the deal is not done, as I understand it. And until it is done, then there's obviously going to be a lot of debate and speculation. We've seen this latest round of reports. There's a lot that will need to be sorted out in terms of the finances, the visions, whether Ten Hag wants the job, recruitment, budgets, sporting projects, all that sort of thing. Lots of conversations to be had. You would like to think, if you're Manchester United, that having come so far, they'll get things done in the coming days, in the next couple of weeks. I don't know the exact time scale in that sense, because you've got to dot a lot of I's and cross a lot of T's. But I think United are in a position where they want to get this closed, but it's not closed yet.
Yeah, I'm not sure how surprised you are by this, because obviously when you Google managers to find out a bit more information about him, he's 52 years old. He's seen as this bright young thing. I'm not saying 52 is old, but he certainly is older than I thought he was. If he took control in July, he'd actually only be 13 months younger than Jose Mourinho when he took the job in 2016. Nabeed, is this a gamble by Manchester United to appoint him, do you think?
I don't actually think age has anything to do with it. Pep Guardiola is a year younger, has won the Premier League 3 times. I think it's probably more to do with the fact that, from what most people have seen, he's actually only managed Ajax at the top level. And I think if I was to think about anything being a gamble, it's probably the fact that Ajax aren't in the most competitive league in the world, with no disrespect to Dutch fans or the Dutch league. And I don't really feel as though Champions League success equates to league success, because tournament football, I mean, we've seen some phenomenal sides in tournament football who are equally as bad in the league. So there's that side of it. And I think also Manchester United is just a completely different club to any really in the world. The eyeballs, the amount of money and the pressure that the job comes with. We've seen Louis van Gaal, Jose Mourinho sit in the hot seat and be criticised to the point of where people think they've never been good managers. So Ten Hag comes into this with a big reputation in the sense of people think he has a style, and stylistically I think that might also be a slight issue as well with United. But I think he comes into the seat and people are encouraged rather than expectant. And I think that in previous years, Manchester United fans have been very expectant of managers. The biggest thing for me is how that money comes in and out. His net spend at Ajax over the last 3 seasons is 209 million in profit. So he's going to have to get used to spending money, and a lot of it very quickly and very, very well.
I think there's an element of risk and gamble with anybody coming into United at the moment because of what's been going on there pretty much since Sir Alex Ferguson left. There's been a lot of change on and off the pitch. A number of managers have what you could call failed. And Ten Hag, if it's to be him, comes in with a bit of an unknown reputation outside of Holland. Of course, he worked in Germany, but only with the Bayern second team. And so for all his success in the Eredivisie and taking Ajax to the latter stages of the Champions League, well, other coaches have done similar in the top flight in Holland, but that hasn't translated to the Premier League, let alone a club of Manchester United stature. I think there's a lot of intrigue around him. There's the potential and a high bar there, clearly. And many want to see whether Manchester United can unlock that potential and can he accelerate onto the managerial scene in the way that sort of Pep and Klopp and Thomas Tuchel have as well. Whereas with Mauricio Pochettino, it was perhaps a little bit safer in that we've seen him in the Premier League with Southampton and Tottenham. We kind of know what we're going to get. We've seen him at PSG as well. But it seems the sense among Manchester United fans, or many of them, seems to be the more exciting appointment for them would be Ten Hag. So, yeah, I mean, there's a risk because there's so much uncertainty at Manchester United on and off the pitch. There have been a lot of structural issues, and that's one of the things that whoever comes into this job is going to have to sort of fight against, work with United to try and bring about a brighter future, because it's been a bit of a mess these last few years.
Yeah, and Nabeed, you were mentioning there about net spend at Ajax from Ten Hag. And by the way, Manchester United fans, we want to hear from you. Hashtag early kickoff. Please get involved on Twitter. The Telegraph reporting today that Manchester United will make substantial funds available to Ten Hag this summer, even if they're not in the Champions League for next season. So, Nabeed, 3 signings. Who would you make to transform that United squad if you can have 3?
I mean, I'm not the director of football at Manchester United, and I don't think that job's going either. It's a really difficult one because I think United have to ship a lot of players out. That would be the first priority. But more so in regards to what you're asking, well, I think first of all, there's a really interesting story arc with Donny van der Beek. He's worked with Erik ten Hag before. I think he could be a new signing, which I know is a statement football fans hate these days when the same player comes back or the same player finds form. But I think if there is a person who can unlock him, it will be Ten Hag, and I personally think Van der Beek's got such a strong potential for a big future in the Premier League and at Manchester United. The obvious one is Harry Kane. He nearly joined Manchester City. I don't know whether City will go in for him again, but I feel like that negotiation broke down. I'm sure David knows more about that than me and most, to be fair. But Harry Kane would be very close to the top of my shopping list if I was at Manchester United. And then Declan Rice, another one where I think it's going to be very expensive, but if you're going to get a lot of money to spend, you've got to spend it on players who have done it in the Premier League, especially in Manchester United's situation. Manchester United have to get players in who've done it in the Premier League, who they trust or the manager trusts, and also fits their identity. And I feel like Harry Kane could fit Erik ten Hag's identity, but collectively that's probably 250 million spent on 2 players. So I'm sitting here saying spend that money, but it's a lot of money to spend.
I'm going to go for 3 different players just to vary it up. And please, these are not insights. It's more what Manchester United might do. So not one to make headlines out of. But up front, I would go for Lautaro Martinez from Inter Milan. I think that would be an incredible signing for any Premier League team. It would remind me of Sergio Aguero moving from Atletico Madrid to Manchester City. And I think it's just what Manchester United need, a proven goal scorer with pace, bit of trickery, great movement. Then going back into midfield, I'd take Aurélien Tchouameni from Monaco. I think he's going to be one of the greatest players of his generation. He's already a France international and he's turning heads. He's attracting interest from the likes of Manchester City, Real Madrid. So let's see where that one goes. But Manchester United, that sort of player, Declan Rice, Tchouameni, would be amazing. And then maybe one more top central defender at the back. Would it be Antonio Rudiger on a free transfer from Chelsea? Would it be Matthias de Ligt from Juventus? Because, of course, Ten Hag, if it's to be him, has worked together with de Ligt before. So if I'm to go for 3, Martinez, Tchouameni and de Ligt.